I received a comment from someone on YouTube that wanted to know what my present HRT regimen is at this time. It's a good time to answer that question because I recently had my HRT blood work done with a new endocrinologist. My estradiol and testosterone levels, they are very, very low. My testosterone over the summer was 75. And then my estradiol was like 1,061. How did I feel at the high level of 1,000? I can't say I felt any different. I know I was experiencing a lot of headaches. Maybe that was part of the side effect of having my estradiol so high. I do not know why it went so high. Oh, I know why my levels could be so high. And I think that's because Dr. Powers, when I had him as an endocrinologist, it was hard for me to get my levels up for estradiol and testosterone. And he advised DHEA. And DHEA is something that will increase through supplement your hormone production. And maybe I've had enough of the DHEA. Maybe I was just producing way off, Michelle Glodowski was not in favor of me taking any supplements to increase my testosterone as well. So I listened to her, right? So I cut the testosterone supplement. So I take the estradiol valerate 200 mg slash 5 ml. It looks like this. I take this now every 7 days instead of every 5 days. And I just increased the dosage. Why did I increase the dosage? Because 275 or whatever it is way too low. And you know what I noticed? When my estradiol is that low, I don't feel very feminine. I don't feel very feminine. And with my testosterone level being really low right now, my libido is like, I don't feel nothing. And to be honest, I don't feel like a man and I don't feel like a woman. All right. So I don't like that shit. I don't like that. I want to feel like a woman. I want to feel like a woman who's got a penis that works, honey. Okay. A penis that when I just talk to a guy that I find very attractive and interesting, that my stuff goes up like that. That's how I like to feel. I like to look feminine. I like to look like a woman. I like to feel feminine. And at 275, I just feel like a pound or a mound of clay that's just laying there. Plop. There's no form. There's no direction. Is that mound of clay a male or a female? We don't know. But in between my ears, I don't feel my femininity. And I was feeling over the summer my femininity as well as a certain amount of masculinity as well. And that was the first time that I ever felt like that. And that also came about by having my implants removed, right? So I'm in the natural body, and the natural body is pretty hot female, directing female gender expression, and I have a penis and it still works, all right? Maybe it doesn't give semen, but it gets its erections. And if there's a very interesting person that's stimulating me, it will let that person know that I am being stimulated and attracted and turned on, right? That's how I like to live. And that's what defines me personally as a transgender woman. So these levels being so low are not ideal for me. They may be what the endocrinologist would like for me to be at, right? There's a low risk or whatever it is that they say, even the PA at Callan Lord. But I feel the PA at Callan Lord, William, let's call him by his name, I feel more comfortable talking about my functionality of my penis, my wanting to be very femme looking and femme feeling. I want to feel like a woman. I love that feeling. Today I was doing my makeup and I had injected the higher dose. And I don't know if it was the higher dose that made me feel like playing Donna Summer in the background. And I really was getting into my makeup. And that used to be the way I would always put on my makeup, was with some Donna Summer in the background. That's one of the primary divas in my life, And I had stopped doing that. And so I will say for me, the hormone levels have a lot to do with me feeling whatever way I would like to feel, feeling more masculine or more feminine. And so I'm going to put my levels back up, get them back up into the 500 range. That's usually the range that I carried while I was with Dr. Will Powers. And I started taking HRT since 2017. So presently, I am at going back to 0 0.125 every 7 days. I'll go back to that. And then my progesterone is every day, is the bioidentical progesterone, one capsule, which is 200 milligram, and it's punctured and inserted rectally in me every night. I do not take it orally. If I feel lazy and I don't feel like fingering myself, then I'll take it orally, but I rarely do that. And the reason why I do it like that is because I sleep better. And I used to have nightmares taking it orally. I don't know. I used to have fights in my dreams in the beginning with progesterone, and Powers suggested it. Kirsten Varega, very similar to Powers, about taking the progesterone anally. Tamar Reisman, I gave her a list of supplements that I'm taking. Now, when I was with Will Powers, he would go through my blood work extensively, and he was one that was suggesting the DHEA, and he was one that suggested NAC. Now, let's do this in real time. I want to look up NAC and give you exactly what NAC is supposed to do, and I want to make sure I'm speaking intelligently. Okay, NAC typically refers to N-acetyl, whatever. A supplement and prescription drug with strong antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and mucus thinning properties. Its primary role is a precursor to glutathione, the body's most powerful antioxidant. Okay? Now, in one of my visits with Dr. Powers, you know, the usual routine every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever, and all the blood work he would do, it came up that I had a lot of free radicals. I don't know if that came up in my ancestry.com, because he wanted me to do a saliva test. And I don't know if it came up through that saliva test or if it came up in the blood work. But I'm bringing all this up because Tamar Reisman, I gave her a list of supplements that I'm taking. And she's like, you know what? I don't believe in supplements. Your diet should be providing everything that you need. This was her response. And I don't agree with that, because I believe not everyone has the same capacity to absorb nutrients in their body. You can give me one diet, give another person the same exact diet. I do not feel it is impossible for both of us to absorb the nutrients equally the same. And myself being where I abused sugar, I abused alcohol, I abused carbohydrates, I abused diet pills, I abused diuretics, I abused men, I abused people. But I'm talking about what I've eaten. I've abused so much. The diuretics, the water pills that I took, forcing my body to eliminate water, because after all my surgeries, I was still like swollen, and I still am. If I was to take off this knit, you will see the lines of the knit on my arms. My body is retaining water since my surgeries. I don't like that. I don't like that, but there's nothing I can do. And the diuretics were harming me and not helping me. So my body, I've put it through the ringer. Stress, depression, anxiety, trauma, grief has affected my body and has affected my mind. And I believe it's affected my ability to absorb nutrients than someone who maybe has not gone through trauma, someone who's not gone through grief, someone who's not ever abused alcohol and nicotine and sugar, someone who's not been as depressed. You know, I can't believe what she says about that. The diet alone is going to give me all the nutrients that I need, that there's not going to be some nutrient like a vitamin D or vitamin B or vitamin K, or in this case, the NAC, that Dr. Will Powers was able to detect, because I was feeling it. I was feeling like inside my body, there was something going on, something creeping around in my insides, you know, fight, because I was getting these weird like sensations of like, not pain, but like something was like in there that was like not supposed to be there. And I believe it was the free radicals. It was something going on in me. And Dr. Powers is like, look, take the NAC. And ever since I started taking NAC, it went away. The DHEA, maybe it's time to stop it, because maybe it was producing the additional hormone levels of the estradiol or estrogen and testosterone. My point again, let's narrow it down, Soraya. My point again is that I believe supplements are necessary, especially for those people who are aging, My body's not like it was at 25, 30, 40, 45. The way it's absorbing whatever nutrients it can get from the food. No way. No way. I want to go with a doctor who feels that at times it may be necessary to be on a supplement. I always check for my B vitamins, right? Like my B12 levels in blood work, because low B12 can lead to depression. There's been times in blood work it comes up that I'm lacking vitamin D. And so I'll take a vitamin D supplement. Now I'm being asked not to touch the vitamin D and not to touch the B12s because you can overdo it. But I think checking for that on a regular basis, like every 6 months, let's say, with the HRT or with just the medical doctors, I think it's important. Though I love Munib Khan, he's come through for me for certain things, but he doesn't do a video visit with me after getting blood work. I could ask him to incorporate that, right? I could ask him. When I would see Dr. Will Powers after getting results, I would have a video visit with him. The physician assistant at Callan Lord, William, he offered a video visit after having results. And I like that. No video visit with Tamar Reisman after getting the blood results. I just feel like I love the way I could sit down with the PA at Callan Lord. Like we were sitting down, like talking. There just seems to be more time that he can give me. There just seems to be less noise in the facility. Like I go to NYU Langone or any of these places, and it's like everybody's like so busy. I like the way I'm being treated by Callan Lord. And so I think I'm going to take my endocrinology there and maybe my primary care there too, only if the Callan Lord PA is into supplements. You know, and could test me for supplements. I'm so saddened that I cannot no longer see Dr. Powers because of insurance reasons. I feel he was one of the best endocrinologists slash MDs because he serves as both. Serves anything that I had a problem with. I had H. pylori, and then I had to take antibiotics for that. He wasn't the one that is prescribed that, but I was getting another flare up, and he was like, "Look, take this, here's that, here's this mouthwash." You know, he was like, boom, 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 knew. He knew what to do. And William at Callan Lord gives me that vibe too. He's younger than Powers. I don't think he has as much medical experience as Powers. What do I know? But I'll find out. But I want to have a conversation with him. I think I'm going to keep it with Callan Lord. Even though I shared the same HRT results from Tamar Reisman with William, the PA at Callan Lord, he felt those levels were okay. But I want to have more discussion with him because it's my mind and my body. And in between my ears, on a day-to-day level, I want to feel femme. I want to feel like a woman. And so I'm trying to get my levels back up because I do notice the difference. I'll end by saying at 275 on estradiol, and I think I'm at 25 in the testosterone. Oh, it's pitiful. Pitiful. The testosterone has to be back up to 75. I would like it to go up as high as it could go for a woman. So my friend who requested the update, that is my update with a little bit more information for you. Oh, they also asked me if I was still taking the pioglitazone. Okay, I stopped taking PO. You know why I stopped taking PO? Because PO was making my entire body swell. It was retaining the water. So in retaining the water, it was making me gain weight. But what I had a problem with is that certain shoes were starting to be too tight for me. And that's because of the retaining of water that the PO was incorporating and giving me fullness, giving me weight gain. It was helping me retain water, and it was making my feet fatter, made my butt fatter, made my face fuller, made my hips fatter. Well, it also went down to my feet, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I was having a hard time putting on my shoes. So I stopped. That's the reason why I stopped taking PO. All right. So whatever you do with supplements and your HRT and any drugs, right? Please consult with your physician. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. And I'll just say I'm a trans woman that Most times when I leave the house and men see me and greet me, they think I'm cis. So that's what I am here. I hope that this was helpful. I'm trying to think if there was any other questions that person have. And I want to thank all of y'all who watch my videos, all of you who leave comments. If this is helpful to you, let me know, like and subscribe and throw some love my way, honey, because I could use the dough. All right. Don't want to go to OnlyFans, which I'm there, but it's the same content that's here. But you know, I have a cutie. Hey, you interested in me recording us getting together? Because trans mama needs like some extra cash, babe. You all right with that? Can we record our intimacy? You good with that? You know, because we ebony ivory, you know, that's kind of hot. Anyway, y'all, I gotta have lunch. I'm stumbling on my words. Trans mama always, always loves you. And take really good care of your health. I hope that this video helps you. Throw some moolah, some love my way, super thanks, whatever it is. All right, y'all. All right. You have a good day. Again, trans mama loves you. Mwah. For estrogen, mwah. For testosterone, mwah. And for not swelling on PO. It's not cute. Don't let your feet get bigger and fatter. All right, y'all. Bye.